Hello, beautiful people of the internet. How are you doing today? My name is Jackie and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today in this video, I wanted to do a video that was quick, easy, and fun. I have not been feeling the best this week. I am currently sick, so I'm sorry if I sound congested. I have a tissue on standby and my little sad sick snack that I'm working through. There are 10 servings in this bag. I bought it on Thursday and I'm guessing that I'm gonna be done it by Sunday night. So I wanted to do a video that was gonna be really fun to film and really quick to film and also really fun for you to watch. So I ended up deciding that I was going to do this little trend that's been going around BookTube. At least it was a trend that's going around. It might not be anymore. I am so behind on my BookTube videos because I took that like 2-week hiatus. I think I am like at least 3 weeks behind on my subscription. So I honestly don't really know what's trendy on BookTube right now, but this is something that I've seen other people do that I had wanted to do. And so in this video, I'm going to be reading 1-star reviews of some of my favorite books. So I'm going to look up some of my favorite books or series on Goodreads and read 1-star reviews of them. Now, obviously, I'm just going to be expressing my opinions and I am in no way making fun of people who disagree with me. Just because I love a book doesn't mean that somebody else can't hate it for perfectly valid reasons, because it's subjective and everyone has their own tastes. This is just meant to be a fun video, so if your opinions are different from my opinions, I am in no ways attacking you. This is just meant to be fun for everyone. So we're gonna start off this video with my personal all-time favorite book. It's a classic, Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. I absolutely love this book. I have read it twice. However, I do know a lot of people really think that it's something that it's not. I don't think a lot of people appreciate how clever this book is, the social satire, and what it's really trying to do. A lot of people just think it's a frivolous, girly book about girls who want husbands. Not that there's anything wrong with books like that, if that's what you're into. It's just, I think there's so much more to this book than some people give it credit for. So on Goodreads, Pride and Prejudice has an average rating of 4.25 stars, pretty high, a total of 2,555,984 ratings, and 56,763 reviews. Only 2% of those ratings are 1 star for 64,270, so I'm going to read some of those 1-star reviews. Well, this person just had a very simple P to the double O-P. All right, this person said, "I'm going to let Mark Twain speak for me," and then quotes one of Mark Twain's letters to Joseph Twitchell on September 13th, 1898. "I often want to criticize Jane Austen, but her books madden me so that I can't conceal my frenzy from the reader, and therefore I have to stop every time I begin. Every time I read Pride and Prejudice, I want to dig her up and beat her over the skull with her own shin bone." Tell us how you really feel, Mark Twain. You know, to be completely honest, I mean, everybody has their own interests. Maybe Mark Twain thinks Pride and Prejudice is mind-numbingly boring, and to be completely honest, I have no interest in ever reading Mark Twain because his books, to me personally, sound mind-numbingly boring. So I don't think I would ever say I would want to dig a dead author up and beat them over the skull with their own shin bone. That seems really excessive. Okay, I love this one. It just says, "Hatred is too strong an emotion to waste on this literary twilight." The literary twilight. That's so funny to me. But hey, I know everybody loved to shit on Twilight, but let's be honest, we all read Twilight in middle school. It's not the worst book ever. It's not good, but it's like a 13-year-old girl's book. So maybe we shouldn't crap on Twilight that much. It wasn't really that horrible. I mean, I don't think it was good. But there are worse. I've read many worse books than Twilight. Now I'm going on a tangent. Back to Pride and Prejudice. This person said, "I don't know how this book came to be so overrated. Jane Austen is a dwarf considering great authors as Dostoevsky, Orwell, Huxley, Calvino, Balzac, Stendhal, Gogol, and pretty much every other author I can can remember, you mean, in this second. I don't even know who some of those authors are, and I'm pretty sure not a single one of them is female. Interesting. This one says, I really don't get it why the entire female population is so enraptured with this book. Mr. Darcy was so unbearably snooty, and the Bennet sisters were no better than cows, except for Elizabeth, who was a mad cow. This book is shitting in the face of feminism. Oh boy, serves me right for plunging in head first, brimming with copious amounts of expectation. Not unlike the phlegm, which is making my nose so stuffy. Girl, same. Tee-hee, I know, I am disgusting. Me too. You know, I find it interesting that she's saying this book shits in the face of feminism when she is literally calling women cows. Also, like, yeah, Mr. Darcy is snooty at first, but he learns and he grows. That is why I personally love him so much. He has his flaws pointed out to him, and he works to improve. And also, like, the first time when Elizabeth rejects him, he takes no for an answer. And that's a really hard thing to find in men, even nowadays. Pride and Prejudice has amazing examples of consent, at least where the main romance is concerned. I mean, Mr. Collins is. That's personally why I like Mr. Darcy, because he has amazing character growth. He improves for her, and she improves for him. It is a great relationship on equal terms. So next, we are going to do one of, if not my favorite book series of all time, the A Song of Ice and Fire series by George R.R. Martin. For this video, we are just going to look at reviews for book 1, A Game of Thrones. A Game of Thrones currently has a 4.45 rating on Goodreads. That's really high. 1,735,096 ratings and 50,498 reviews. Only 1% of reviews for A Game of Thrones are 1 star. That's 25,485 reviews. But interestingly, scrolling through Goodreads right now, the 3 top reviews, like most liked reviews, are all 1 star. So, I mean, honestly, I'm not really surprised by that, because I've noticed, like, reading Game of Thrones and watching the show, people, like, because it's so popular, it's become kind of like cool and edgy and hipster to hate on it and like say like, oh, I never got into it. I never watched that stupid show. Aren't I so cool because I don't like the popular thing? Which is fine if you don't like the books or the show, but it's also like, if other people really enjoy it and it means a lot to them, like it means a lot to me, just be happy for them and let them have their thing, and then you can have your own thing. Like, I mean, I've recommended Game of Thrones to a lot of people, but that's just because I think it's an amazing show that I think everybody could like. I've never, like, meant to make someone feel bad if they haven't watched it. You know, if you don't want to watch it or read it, that's fine. I just think that everybody will like it if they give it a try, even if you say you don't like fantasy. I mean, that's just my personal opinion. So, you know, read it, watch it, I don't care, but just let everyone like what they like. You know, that's my attitude. This person put with their review, recommends it for no one. Let's read. I am on page 470, and although it pains me to put down a book unfinished, it is simply time for me to quit. A Song of Ice and Fire is the Grey's Anatomy of fantasy. I also like Grey's Anatomy too, so this should be good. It isn't perfect in the beginning. It's pretty flawed, actually, but you think, that's okay, the premise is good, it will improve. And then before you know it, everyone is having everyone else's baby and murdering their mother, who is also their sister and a schizophrenic, and traveling around on horseback, setting things on fire for no apparent reason. I don't think any of these things happen in Game of Thrones or in Grey's Anatomy for that matter, but let's continue. The characterization is painfully flat. I'm tempted to go through the text and count the number of times Jon Snow is referred to as a bastard. I get it. His mother is not his father's wife. He is a bastard. Please, God, can we move on now? No, we can't move on. Here on page 470, again, in all caps, Jon points out in dialogue that he is a bastard. Cue self-inflicted eye stabbing. The kicker, Jon Snow is probably the deepest character in the book. I mean, I love Jon Snow, but I don't know if I would say he's the deepest. I don't think I agree with that. And exactly like Grey's Anatomy, there comes a moment, often when a character married to 2 people at once and pregnant with some other dude's baby decides to throw herself off a bridge and then survives, but is left in a coma that can only be cured by the medicine her dead best friend left in her nightstand. When you just can't take one more bit of drama just for the sake of it. Plus, I totally cheated and looked up what happens in the sequels, and the plot only gets more convoluted and depressing. So yeah, thanks so much to all you guys who rated this 5 stars. I would like to know what you've been smoking because it apparently gives you the power to turn crap into gold. What's interesting to me is that a lot of these 1-star reviews are complaining that they think the female characters in this are very submissive, and I don't agree with that at all. I mean, there are definitely some problematic elements in this book, and also I think just in other fantasy works in general, dealing with sexual assault. However, I personally think that all of the female characters in this series are really well written. So even if I do have problems with some things that happen in the books, I personally feel like every female character in this series makes me feel very empowered, and I like how they're all strong in their own different ways. We do have female characters who are warriors, who defy gender stereotypes, who don't want marriage, want to wear pants and they want to go off and fight. But then we also have female characters who are traditionally feminine, who do dream of having husbands, who do like wearing dresses, who do have stereotypically feminine hobbies, but they still are strong characters. You don't have to just be a masculine female character to be the strong female character. I like how this book has varieties of female characters, and they're all strong in their own ways, and they all express their femininity differently. So even though I do think that there are some things in these books that are problematic, I hate the word problematic, but because everything is problematic. There is nothing that is not problematic. I'm problematic, you are problematic. Every single person is problematic, every single thing. But so even though there are things in these books that I don't love, I feel like saying the female characters are submissive is just completely wrong, because we're meant to criticize the rape culture and misogyny present in this series. We're not supposed to think that it's good or that the author is supporting it, because I think clearly he's not. This person is complaining because the book took them 5 days to finish. Apparently that's a long time for them. I mean, if I read a book in 5 days, if I read a book in 5 days, that's like speed reading for me, especially a book like this, which is probably like, what, 800 pages? You read 800 pages in 5 days? And that's slow to you? What's your secret? I want to know how you read that fast. Honestly, like, none of these negative reviews are like even funny. They're all just really long and self-righteous, talking about how this book is the most sexist thing ever, and if you like it, then you must be a pedophile or a racist, and anyone who likes this cannot be a feminist, blah, 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 blah. And I'm really surprised by these people saying that they think all of the characters are really one-dimensional and not interesting, because the characters are why I love this story so much, because I love every single one of them. Even the villains are so well crafted, in my opinion, because every character has good and bad qualities. They're all flawed and very complicated with complex character motivations. So it's weird to me to see people posting 1-star reviews and saying, I hated every single character. None of them were interesting. None of them were likable. They were all really flat. Because to me, the exact opposite is true. So that's really interesting to me. Like, I mean, I think every character in this series is really amazing and really interesting. I don't think there's like a bad character. They're all well written. I mean, There are some who are bad people, unquestionably, like Joffrey, Ramsay, but they're still well written and they're interesting. And I think it's interesting to examine characters like that and think about why they are the way they are. The thing I am happy to see is that a lot of people, even people who posted 1-star reviews, said that they did like Arya Stark, which is... Arya Stark's like my favorite fictional character of all time, so it's impossible to hate her. She's my bae. She's my girl, like the queen of my heart, the queen Westeros deserves. So next, we are going to move on to my favorite book that I have read so far this year. I have never seen anyone on BookTube post a negative review about this book. It's The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This book is currently sitting at a 4.3 average rating on Goodreads with 77,668 ratings and 12,992 reviews. Literally 0% of reviews for this book are 1 star. It is only 669. So let's see what these select few have to say about this book. This person said, I was so excited to read this because I loved Daisy Jones and the Six so much, but I couldn't get through even half of it before the narrowly disguised feminist BS and predictability made me want to throw up. I feel like I could have told you everything about this book without having to crack it open once. V disappointed, much sadness, much wow. Feminist BS. And this review was posted by a woman. A woman in 2019. Feminist BS. If you are a woman living in 2019 who thinks feminism is BS, I honestly feel sorry for you. That's all I think I need to say. What more is there to say, really? This woman took the last woman's review and turned it up to 11. Let's read this. I'm wondering why this book received any ratings above 1 star. It's absolutely awful. The writing style is that of a high school student with unnecessary cussing, 3 in the first chapter. No, not 3 curse words. That's so many. Oh my God, we all know people in real life don't curse like that. And 2D characters. The author made a point to say that none of the main characters are white. Who really cares? Did she have to point that out at all? Yeah, because diverse representation doesn't matter, right? People of color don't deserve to see themselves represented in literature, right? And that people actually admire this woman for having 7 husbands. I should have known from the dedication line that this book was going to be awful. Patriarchy? Really? LOL. Last I checked, women and men have equal rights in everything. I couldn't even say that with a straight face. What is your source? Please tell me, Chrissy on Goodreads. What is your proof that the patriarchy is dead? Do you know something that I don't? Like... Okay, I'm just gonna finish reading this review. If you're a liberal, then you will probably love this book just for having multiracial characters that smash the patriarchy and social morals by cussing randomly and praising a woman that had 7 husbands. However, if you're not, you will more than likely will loathe this liberal propaganda junk. Wow. No wonder I loved this book, because I'm a liberal who loves women and gay people and people of color and getting abortions and, you know, saving the earth from global warming, all stuff like that. Listen, I don't want to get too political in my BookTube videos, but like, if you're a woman out there in the 21st century who believes that we don't need feminism, because men and women are equal in everything, I don't even know what to say to that, because it's just so blatantly not true. I mean, like, our president, I said I wasn't going to get political, but we have a man in office who has been accused of sexual assault, who is so sexually inappropriate with women, but people voted him anyway because they decided that racism and sexual assault and misogyny were not deal breakers for them. And like, Men out there can rape people and not go to jail because the judge is worried about ruining his life when he's ruined someone else's life by assaulting them. And you say that we don't need feminism or that it's BS, because clearly we do. And if you think we don't, like, are you brainwashed? Honestly, if you're a woman out there who doesn't see these problems that other women are going through, I kind of feel sorry for you, because I have to question, what kind of shit from men in your life do you put up with? Like, how do the men in your life treat you? Do they treat you with respect? Because it kind of makes me question that. If they're saying feminism is BS, men and women are equal. Like, I mean, it's just ridiculous to me that there are people who genuinely believe that, like, women's rights aren't under attack in the 21st century. And I mean, representation also is so important. And I love Evelyn Hugo's representation of different sexualities and ethnicities, because I mean, I am a woman, but I'm also a white woman, so I've had a lot of positive female role models in culture who do look like me that I've been able to look up to. And for women who are of color, who are not straight, who are part of the LGBTQIA plus community, trans women especially, like, they don't have a lot of representation in the media, and I think it's really important to show them female characters that are like them, because literature and film and television should be reflective of our actual world, which is very diverse and has lots of different kinds of people in it, and that's why representation is important. So if you're someone out there saying, why do they need to mention that the characters aren't white, maybe you need to consider that it's important to other people to see themselves represented, because they haven't always been like you have your entire life. That's all I'm going to say about that. Okay, to get back on topic, this last series that I want to talk about is actually one that I haven't completed. It's immensely popular, and I am very late on the bandwagon. I need to get back to reading this series, but I thought that this would be a book that probably has some really funny one-star reviews, and I'm talking about Harry Potter. So we're going to be reading one-star reviews for Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, book number 1. It currently has a rating on Goodreads of 4.47, and that is with 5,886,314 ratings and 94,694 reviews. That is a lot. That's almost 6 million people that have read Harry Potter and rated it on Goodreads. Like, that's a lot. That's a lot of people. 1% of Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone's ratings are 1 star, for a total of 93,964 one-star reviews. So let's take a gander. Why did I just say the word gander? Where did that come from? Am I feverish? First review is from Voldemort. This is a disgrace to all purebloods. My head looked quite dashing on that strange professor's head. If only I could have extended my stay. Harry Potter, this is not over yet. The only 1-star review I will accept. Good. This review is like so pretentious. Can 35 million book buyers be wrong? Yes. How can they be wrong in their opinion? It's an opinion for a reason. Then goes on to say, taking arms against Harry Potter at this moment is to emulate Hamlet taking arms against a sea of troubles. By opposing the sea, you won't end it. The Harry Potter epiphenomenon will go on, doubtless for some time, as J.R.R. Tolkien did, and then wane. I dislike Harry Potter, not going to lie. Now, I'm a Tumblr person. They say that Harry Potter is the gateway fandom, etc. Ho ho, aren't we witty? I'm not going to go into full detail because I'm lazy and have homework to do, but these are just dull. Dull, dull, dull. The writing style is atrocious to me. X said, Y said, Z said, with the occasional mumbled or shouted or gasped. actually, like, when you're writing, you should use the word said most of the time. Like, that's like actually something that acclaimed writers say you should do. Because if you use other words too frequently, it just like comes across like you're trying too hard. Said is perfectly effective. Or just don't even write so-and-so said at all if the line breaks are clear who's talking. But anyway. And there's enough adverbs to shame a bad role player. God almighty. It's apparently undecided how many publishers rejected the first novel, but the general consensus is that it's somewhere between 9 and 12. Don't you think there's a reason for that? Not to mention all of the spell names are stolen directly from Latin, exempli gratia. Actio, I summon. Confringio, I break into pieces, I ruin. Crucio, I torture. Imperio, I command. Levi corpus, I lift. With me here? Maybe that's clever to some people. To me, though, it's simply unoriginal. Sorry, not sorry, fangirls. Doesn't it just make, like, logical sense that the spells would come from Latin words? I mean, where do you think the words in the English language came from? A lot of them come from Latin. That's why I took 2 semesters of Latin at college so that I could learn Latin and it could help me figure out the meanings of words. It just makes sense to me. What did you want the spells to be? Abracadabra? I was struggling to find really good 1-star reviews for this book, so I switched to 2 stars. Gil says, just finished with my son tonight. Fine as a young kid's book, but seriously, you adults who rate this 5 stars on Goodreads, have you really read any good adult literature? That's really judgmental, Gil. And honestly, I think this is the thing about people with negative opinions that bothers me, is they can't just say, I didn't like X, and that's my opinion. They have to find some way to shame people who did like the thing. Like, just because you didn't like something doesn't mean that, like, anyone who doesn't like it is unintelligent or somehow wrong. You just need to respect that other people have opinions, and maybe, you know, don't be so negative and insult people because they have joy in something. Like, just let other people like things. Just let people enjoy themselves. This person saying that it has too much witchcraft and they don't like fantasy. So then why'd you pick up a fantasy book set at a school for witchcraft and wizardry? And then complain that it has too much witchcraft? I have to question that. Did you not know what this book was about when you decided to read it? So this one says, you don't need both around and about in that sentence, either one, just pick one. About 8 years ago, I had an ex who loved Harry Potter, and I mean loved it. She also loved Disney, Seventh Heaven, and a whole bunch of other fluffy things that said a lot about her mental state at the time. Now I know why this girl isn't with you anymore, because you're a jerk. Anyway, one time when we were on a 500-kilometer drive across the country, she popped in the audiobook of Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, and we listened to it. I tell you one thing. I'll tell you one thing. This person did not proofread their sentences. Listening to Stephen Fry narrate that thing definitely made the time pass by, because outside of that, I can't imagine reading this again. Yes, children, it appears that I have an unpopular opinion. I do not think that Harry Potter is all that good. Commences to dodge the barrage of rubbish thrown. Demonstrates amazing literary gymnastic skills for someone with 2 effed knees. Okay, will you let me explain myself? Jesus Christ, on a pogo stick riding a bicycle. You people are fragile. Anyway, you should know the plot of this story by now. You're a wizard, Harry. Zap, bang, clunk. Ogre goes roar. Big, evil, dark wizard. Plot twist, happy ending. So, in conclusion, I think the thing that I want all of you to take away from this video is that when there's something that you don't like, even something that's popular, you're entitled to your opinion. But if your opinion rests on you calling people who do like that thing stupid, then you are a jerk. You should not make fun of other people for the things that they enjoy and the things that make them happy. If someone likes a thing and you don't like it, that's fine. Just be happy that they have found something that makes them happy. I think honestly our world would be so much better if people focused on the things they liked instead of talking constantly about the things that they hate. So, in conclusion, disliking something that is popular does not make you an interesting person. If you crap on other people's joy, then you are a jerk who needs some more positivity in their life. And honestly, like, people say, oh, well, I don't like this popular thing, and I've been ostracized because of it. I can tell you, I didn't read Harry Potter, a single book, until I was like 19 years old. And I'm 20 now, and I've only read the first 3 Harry Potter books. And literally, no one has ever gave me crap for that. Never, ever. So, like, if you don't like something popular, like, nobody cares. You just like the thing that you like and let everybody else like the thing that they like, and it's all fine. You don't need to talk constantly about the thing that you don't like and how you are so cool and smarter than everyone else because you don't like it. It's really annoying. So guys, that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. Please give this video a big like if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more from me. Also, be my friend on Goodreads or follow me on Tumblr. Those links will be down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye, and I hope to see you in the next video.